Welcome to the Mindful Love Movement, where every purchase makes a difference. We're not just shopping, we're igniting change, blending purpose with passion. Our live social shopping transforms mental health advocacy into real, loving action. Every purchase is an act of advocacy. Join the I Can Challenge and embrace a new way to shop, connect, and transform lives. This is the I Can Challenge.
Take the challenge and make a difference.
This is somebody, when I mentioned the school programs, this is somebody who's doing it. When I mentioned doing small random acts of kindness, this is somebody who's doing it. She is the epitome of love. She has an incredible story. And we met her about 3 years ago. And we've stayed in contact. We've encouraged each other. We've shared what we're doing, and knew that at some point there was going to be a time for us to come together and to share our message together. And she's a New York Times bestseller. She sold millions of books. She writes books for children, and they're in many schools. She speaks in many schools. She's done a TED Talk, and it's all about love. And I want to introduce Laura Duksta. Give a warm welcome to Laura as she joins us. And feel free to ask questions as we are going through this journey together. She has an incredible story herself. You got that one? Laura, why don't, is there any opening statements that you want to say? Welcome. It's so great to see you here. We've talked about it for so long.
Yes, and thank you for having me. This is so awesome. I'm going to try not to use my hands, right? Is that, we're not supposed to wave and shine? Okay. So good, but it's incredible. Chia, I love your passion. Diego, I love your heart. Mark, I love you and your story. And it's really incredible to hear it all here and to have people from all over the world joining us and to now find out about what you've been creating, generating, brewing, conjuring up in your space and in your heart. And I'm so honored to be a part of it here on your first live, which
We're excited to have you here.
This is going to blossom really into a worldwide movement. I just know it. So such a blessing.
Well, why don't we start off with, I have some questions that we'd like to.
Message for love.
Okay.
Oh, we have a message. Laura is truly an ambassador of love. We've been friends for 7 years. That's awesome.
And Gaia's Indian in descent and lives in my hometown and of Marshfield, Massachusetts. And we just divine connection, just like the two of us met at an event. And that's, I'm all about love and connection. And
Yes,
you know, that's,
you are.
that is as you are. So that's why we're kindred spirits and on this mission now together.
So as you've learned about Mindful Love Movement and now the I Can Challenge that we brought, what is it that's brought your passions out or excites you about that from your perspective?
Well, you know, and this is it's a learning and growing process all the time. So I was over here the other day and we did a little, we were thinking about this, and you used the word crisis. And sometimes I cringe over kind of anything that I feel is negative. And I'm like, oh, can we see it as an opportunity versus a crisis? But I think that it's important to own or, correct where we may have made a mistake in our communication. I was thinking about it and I was like, it is a crisis. There's a humanitarian crisis happening in our country and around our world right now. There are people that are afraid to travel or for their families. There are school shootings. I think the school shooting happened the day that I left here. And that's a crisis in our country. There's today.
And unfortunately, those are, so we're trying to be real here. And what that topic is something that we're not allowed to talk about. and it's
Okay.
something that we're not aware of, but I want to take this opportunity to say we can't fix things if we can't talk about them. I understand the rules, I understand the guidance and all, but we have to be real. We have to be able to speak about these things in an honest and open way. We can't just couch everything and try to put everybody on pins and needles of what can and can't be said. So that's just my personal opinion. We'll adhere to the rules, but at the same time, we'll be utilizing our website and other means of communication to really be honest and to really be able to talk about these things, because that's what healing, this is when healing starts, is being able to openly speak about these things.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I appreciate that. And so, I think that we can probably say what happened at FSU the other day, or maybe continues to happen on our school campuses. Today is my angel's birthday. She would have been 55 today. That was an accident that we were in together in 1988, but it reminded me of a woman that I know. She's got a child who has alopecia. That's why I have a shiny bald head, for those of you who are just meeting me for the first time. She has an 11-year-old with alopecia. Her 19-year-old was just in a motorcycle accident and gained his legs.
Wow.
And I know somebody else who just died at childbirth. 1 in 49,000 people have this happen. And so here was her husband and her getting ready to welcome their child into the world. And now her whole family and her husband are struggling through this grief and this trauma. So there are crises. And I
Yes.
wanted to acknowledge that in our conversation, in our language, as long as we're able to say that word.
Yes,
I
yes,
think we can.
yes.
But I do know the answer is love too.
And you call yourself the ambassador of love.
I am an ambassador of
so
love.
tell us about that, how that came about, and let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, it was when I was 7 or 8 years old. I had this idea. One day I'm going to travel the world, meet my sisters and brothers, and share the message of love. And I had no idea how that was going to happen. But then, and it wasn't a straight path by any means. It was definitely a winding, bumpy, hit you're up against dead ends path at times. But I ended up having the idea for this book, I Love You More, and realized what an incredible way to get the message of love out and around the world. And when I put the book into the world, it didn't feel like, oh, I'm an author. It felt like I'm an ambassador of love. I'm here on this mission to deliver this message of love. And one of the ways that I do it are through my books. So that's why I've always called myself an ambassador of love first. And I really, welcome everybody to be that.
So your book, I Love You More, has touched millions of lives. And are there any specific stories that or lives that have been touched that have gotten back to you that you could think of that would be something you'd want to share?
It's I'll share the book a little bit first. It begins from both sides and reads to the middle. We didn't really do any of it on purpose. It was all divinely guided. But so it represents the infinite nature of love. It also represents the giving and receiving of love. And the phrases in the book are limitless in nature, just like love. So it says things like, I love you mightier than the mightiest wind ever blew. I love you fuller than the fullest moon you ever knew. I love you prettier than the prettiest flower ever found. That's a lot of love, right? And then on that's the mother's responses. When you flip it over, it's the mother asks the child, and it's the child's responses. And while we're doing this, I'll just continue. It says things like, I love you bigger than the biggest bubble ever blown, and freer than the freest kite ever flown.
Laura, I see that you have a Spanish version too.
I do.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I can't wait for you and Chia to do a reading of the Spanish version for some point.
Well, here we have a Spanish version, so it's Te quiero más, and we can read some part. Te quiero más allá del vuelo más alto que una vez jamás voló. Te quiero más allá de la copa más alta que un un árbol jamás alcanzó, con ilustraciones súper bonitas. Te quiero más allá del esplendor que una flor jamás mostró. O sea, pueden tenerlo en inglés, en español, ver tanto este amor y llevárselo a los niños. How age, what is the age
So
for
what's
the
the
kids?
age? We thought 0 to 8. They make great baby shower gifts and newborn gifts, toddler birthdays, first readers, and like 7 or 8 year old, you think still will appreciate sitting down and reading a book with you. What we found, and to speak back to Mark's question too, is that people buy I Love You More and share I Love You More, especially with loved ones of all ages. And I've had people that have told me that they have buried their mothers with I Love You More because it was that important to them.
So I want to interject here because I've been to many of your booths, and I personally have seen people waiting in line to not just have her autograph and to purchase a book, but to tell her, when I was a little girl, or I read when I was younger, I read this to my little girl, or I'm a teacher and I use this in my classroom. And it's just amazing to see the amount of people that her book is impacted. But it goes back to the core essence of what we're doing and what we're talking about and why it impacts so many people. Love. It's about love, and she shares and she embodies love. And it's a joy sometimes when I come to sit there. I feel like I'm bothering you. And I know you were trying to, talk to me, but I also understand that these are the people that you're there serving. And I just love watching that interaction and to see those people genuinely share how they've been moved by your book. And so it's just great.
Yeah.
I encourage you, if you haven't um, uh, heard of Laura before, or you don't know about her books, you can pick one up. We'll give you the website and information, but they're great gifts. If you want Laura to put a comment or to write something in there specifically for you or for somebody else, just let her know. It's a joy to watch her do that. And she has these incredible pens and incredible penmanship, because I could never do what she does. You don't want me to sign anything. But anyway, I'm so moved by when I see the people that interact with you.
Yeah, so beautiful. And I Love You More, the message that I write is, dear, in your child or children's or grandchildren's names, or your mom's name, Mother's Day is coming up, you are a magnificent gift to your family and the world. And then I can write, especially to your Nana and Papa, or to your mom. And then I sign my name, Keep Shining, Laura Duksta. And I sign all my books, Keep Shining, because I have an angel who reminds me to do so. And then I have I'll Hug You More as well. And this one's also done in that flip format. And in this one, I write, your love and hugs brighten up our world. And I can write especially your Mimi and Pops, or Abuelo and Abuela. I only have the I Love You More in Spanish. And I'll let you know too that I got this is my second book, and it's You Are a Gift to the World, and the world is a gift to you. And this one is temporarily out of print. We're going to do something to get this one back in the world. It's another important message. But I have it set up as a free download on my website. So if you sign up for my Sunday newsletter that goes out, Laura's Love Letter, that goes out every other Sunday, I was going to, this is a social shopping experience too. So I was going to give people a discount code for the books. But as I was sitting in the green room waiting to come on, I thought, why don't I donate 20% back to the mindful love movement?
Wow.
Rather than doing a discount today. So I think that makes more sense. So I will say that any books sold through my website, and we'll get them signed up and sent out in a nice gift envelope for you by Monday at midnight. And they need to be in the United States right now. If you're out of the United States and you really want a signed copy, message me, message us, and we'll figure it out. But my website's set up for sales here. You reminded me that one woman said that I Love You More was at her mother's assisted care facility. And her sister read it over and over and over again with her mom, who had Alzheimer's. And she said, I'll let you know that I took that book when my mother passed and brought it to the funeral, and we read it there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, love it. Love always wins. I'm big on acronyms. LAW, it's the law. And my TEDx talk, I also love when people make introductions. We've sold 1 million books in 8 languages now. You're speaking the millions into existence. And it was a TEDx talk, I'm supposed to say, not a TED talk, but it was, y'all, you are limitless love, because I saw YALL as an acronym for you are limitless love. It is who we are.
So
We're
maybe you
going
saw
to read a few of the messages. Mariana Valdivia, keep up this amazing movement. Mark and Chia, we love you.
Thank you, Mariana.
Awesome.
Teresa Tochon, yes, love is the answer. Simon, you're 100% right, Mark. Was the moment you were talking about that we need to talk more about this, not have a...
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teresa. Stuck. Qué bonitos esos textos de cuando estábamos leyendo. Lucía Díaz, you're an inspiration, Laura. And Camila, Heart for Us. There.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for all the messages.
Yeah. So I
Yes,
appreciate
keep sending
it.
them in. And I forgot to share earlier that with any of the purchases that you make with our legacy stuff, we have a special gift that will from the Mindful Love Movement that we're going to put in there as well. And we'll do that with your books. Anybody who buys Laura's book, and we'll also send you out a special gift from the Mindful Love Movement as well. So, Laura, we're talking about love, and you've had your own journey and your own challenges. Share a little bit about, your journey with alopecia and writing about love and how that has impacted you.
Yeah. So it's really interesting even for myself, because it's hard for me to remember where I was. So I lost my hair when I was 11, and it started with just a small patch. I had long brown wavy hair. And then as I went, the summer that I was going into 6th grade, I had long brown wavy hair, and my back to school picture is like a god awful comb over, trying to hide all the bald spots.
I relate to that.
Yes, I was almost there. But, here I am, an 11-year-old girl getting ready to go back into school. I don't, and it was before, Google and being able to find things quickly. So it was really challenging to get a diagnosis. And then the doctor said, there's really nothing we can do. It's alopecia. This is at Boston Children's Hospital, unfortunately. Get her a wig and no one needs to know. And my father at the time was a raging alcoholic, and my mother was a kindergarten teacher. She knew that was terrible advice, right? Because when we're going through challenges, sometimes the best thing to do is to talk about it. But my father's like, that's what the doctor said. That's what we're going to do. I didn't look at myself in a mirror for 10 years without a wig on. I was really introverted and depressed. I turned to addiction. I started drinking when I was in middle school. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I moved to South Beach and got in the 90s and got involved in everything that South Beach had to offer. And I say that I'm lucky that I lived through those days. So like who you see now is a product of love and resilience, because I had the idea for I Love You More, and it changed my life. I'd had that vision when I was a child, but like I said, the road wasn't a smooth one getting here. And just before my 30th birthday, I said, I'm not going to wear wigs anymore. It was after I had the idea for I Love You More. So I know that I didn't get the connection at the time, but the book was an answer to a prayer. It was written for my sister and my nephew when she was going through a hard time in her then marriage and was pregnant with her second child. Then all of a sudden, it gave me the confidence and the courage and the willingness to embrace being myself, which now I go into schools and share about the power of being yourself. And it's a really powerful lesson coming from somebody with a bald head who's also like really self-expressed and having a good time. Right. And then we actually sent the book to print on September 10th, 2001. So I became a big believer that the book is written so that we all know that no matter what's going on in our lives, our heads, or in the world around us, how limitlessly, infinitely, and always loved we are. So
Yes.
yeah, now I work a lot with the Children's Alopecia Project and the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, because it's a challenge not just for the person, the child, or the adult who's losing their hair and often their eyebrows and eyelashes, but also the parents and the family, the siblings too.
Right.
Everybody's affected.
A lot of stigmas, I imagine, that have to be broken.
Yeah.
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 Wow. Talk about resilience, and it being driven by love is just fabulous to hear your story and look, where you've come from and where you are today. And, I connect that with hearing from the people who have bought your books, who have been inspired and continue on. I really look forward to seeing, I know you have inspirations of wanting to take things on the road coming up here. I really hope that, that works out, and that somehow maybe we can even play a part in that. But back to the I Can Challenge. Are there any thoughts that you want to share to the audience or to those about the I Can Challenge, and that they don't have to be a New York Times bestseller to make a difference, and or anything of that?
Yeah, I think that's so important, and I just love what you are doing. And no action is too small. I think Chia said that. No, a smile offered to somebody on a walk, a door held. One of the things that I love to do, I had this idea right before COVID hit, and nobody wanted to touch anything that everybody else was touching, but to create an I cart movement and to wait for somebody to, I actually I'll look for somebody who's emptying their groceries into their car so I can offer to take their cart back in for them. It's a moment of connection. It's not just the service of doing it for them. It's like, oh, that person noticed me. They see me. They care enough to offer a little help. Sometimes it's allowing somebody in. This is really unusual in South Florida, allowing somebody in that needs to get in traffic, or pull into a street. So there's all different types of opportunities for us to do. And I love your idea that the I Can Challenge is really about turning love into an action, so that it's seen, expressed, felt, known, shown, talked about, and done.
I think it's a bridge builder for us. And I think what you're doing is you've built bridges in so many age categories in our society. It's an honor to have gotten to know you. It's an honor to see you in action. And it's an honor today to have you a part of our inaugural first Mindful Love live shopping show.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can do it again. Is there any last words that you want to say or that's on your heart?
Well, it's such an honor to be here. And I again, just love what you're doing. And yes, looking forward to celebrating I Love You More's 25th anniversary, which starts at the end of next year, and looking at creating a cross-generational tour, which I think is like perfect fit for the Mindful Love movement to swirl together with. And I'll just share again that my, my TEDx talk was, y'all, you are limitless love. So I think what there is to do is like, what does that mean? How do we inquire into that? How do we be that? How do we move from being in fear, competition, comparison, into compassion and cooperation? And that's, I think, just what you're all about. And I'm honored to be a part
Well,
of
thank
the
you.
team.
Thank
Team
you so
love.
much for being a part of it today.
Okay.
And we
Keep
appreciate
shining.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey.
Remember, every purchase you make is not just a transaction. It is an act of advocacy.
We are not just shopping, we are redefining retail. Blending purpose with passion, we are igniting change. Every purchase is an act of advocacy. Join the I Can Challenge.
Changing the world one purposeful purchase at a time. Keep challenging the status quo, keep engaging, and keep transforming lives. This is the I Can Challenge. Changing the world one purposeful purchase at a time.
Until next time, stay inspired and shop with purpose.